Feed them and freak them. Is that all it takes, guys? To feed you and freak you. How hard is it to bring a man down these days? It's not very hard. Food and sex. Feed you and freak you. Feed your mind with a lot of what you want to hear. Feed the mind of a man with sexual talk. And it's pretty much it. That's all it takes for a simple man. A simple-minded man. The Bible talks about a simpleton, easily seduced. He will go down the way that he knows he should not go. He will have the conversations he should not have. He will be easily enticed. He will be like Esau, who sold his birthright for a pot of lentil soup or whatever it was. They will put their marriage on the line. Put all their hard work, years of school and grad school on the line for a moment. They will put their current relationship on the line just because of how this woman talks and that she can cook real good. You can be a woman, all she has to do is feed and freak you. With all the strength that a man has, whether he's in a position of power, he could be the general of armies, he could be a great man of strength, can take down 3, 4, 5 men at once. But one woman, all she has to do is wear the right perfume and sway her hips just enough, and he's done. There's a lot of women that can tie down a man by just cooking right. She'll do an inventory. She's going to do figure out what it is that he likes. Figure out what his needs are. Figure out what his weaknesses are. What does he have going on? And as he's pouring out his heart, as that man is pouring out his heart, she's making him his favorite dish and feeding him and making him feeling good. Satisfying him sexually. More than half the battle's already won. A man will leave his wife and children for someone who can freak him and feed him. Not only just giving him actual foods, but feeding him with words that he wants to hear. Identifying what he needs to hear and saying it over and over and over again. All that woman has to do is keep saying the right things, the right amount of time, identifying that you're having problems at home and telling you how right you are and how wrong your wife is. Giving you a picture and painting a picture of how much easier and how much better your life would be and what she wouldn't do if she were your wife. But ironically, she's not in the house. She doesn't know who you are and what you are. She doesn't know the history. She doesn't know. But you'll buy into that. You won't care if she's married because of how she cooks and how she makes you feel. You won't care that she's sleeping around with other men. It won't matter. It won't matter to you that you're married. You have unprotected sex with her because she's freaking you so good. Feeding and freaking you. Feeding and freaking your mind, your soul. And so it causes you to ignore the voice of the Spirit saying, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't go over there. Don't do it. It's a risk. It's a risk. You're putting yourself at risk doing this. But because she's feeding you and freaking you, you'll do it anyway. There are men who are behind bars because of a woman that was feeding and freaking them. There are people who are in the grave because that man killed somebody because of the woman that was feeding and freaking him. And not only that, you got a bunch of women that's entering into the house of God, wanting to feed and freak the men of God in there. Jezebel on the praise team. Jezebel at the door. Jezebel's run across the parking lot track like Usain Bolt trying to catch you before you get in your car with a piece of pie and a pudding that she made. Hey, brother, I made us a pumpkin pie. I made a pudding for you. I know you love banana pudding. I put some pudding in it because I want your pudding. That's what's going to happen eventually. Lure you in. Cooking. Invite you over for dinner after church. You know she bought that chicken from Church's and put it on her plate. But I'm being funny there, but aren't you more than this? Is it so easy to kneel because you saw some silky thighs and legs and some collard greens and ham hock can bring you to your knees? This is a weakness. There was a warrior for the Lord. I can't remember his name. He was commissioned to bring down Jezebel. She went in the window, flicking her hair and put on her makeup and thought that she could entice him. But that man came with a mission. He carried out the mission. He said, throw her out the window. He had no mercy. I'm not here inciting violence, but what I'm telling you, he was not moved by her beauty, nor by her conversation. And so, men of God, you've got to get to a place where if you find yourself falling so easy to that, it's a stronghold. And it's really something you can overcome. It's really something you can overcome. There's some of you, you're married and you want to do right, but you have no clue how to control your appetites. You have no clue how to stop doing the things that you are doing. But you have to get to a place of prayer and fasting and realizing that this is not just about your family, but it is about your soul. When you leave this earth, you leave your wife and your children behind, and you are going to stand in eternity by yourself as that living soul filled with the lust and all the betrayals and all the infidelities and all the violations against God. And the price that you're going to pay for that is far worse than any amount of pleasure you can receive in this world. Men, learn how to keep your eyes straight on, straight ahead, that you don't go down the road that she's at. You don't stop eating that woman's food. Stop letting her feed you all the time. You don't realize that her past guests are now in the depths of hell. Hell has expanded and makes rooms for all the souls that she has put down in there. Don't fall for the okie doke. Don't fall for the okie doke. Because she got on that prayer shawl. Bring you that bucket of chicken every Sunday. Thank you, sister. I don't need any more. Don't let nobody be cooking for you. Sometimes, yes, it could be nice if they're doing it for everyone. But sometimes you just don't want to be taking stuff from her, going over to eat. She's making all this stuff. She's bringing you a plate every Wednesday night. She's bringing you something. I know you didn't eat yet, brother. I know you had a long day at work. She single? She married? She's bringing you all that food and her husband is at home boiling cup of noodles again. She's not cooking for him. Use your wisdom and your knowledge and your discretion. Everything in you as a man, you're going to know when the situation is changing. You're going to see something. You're going to see that desperation in her eyes. Her nose going to be flared a little more than usual. She's going to have that look. She's going to have that pick me. Please pick me. There's that look. You're going to know. And if you know in your heart, nah, this is not it, then don't. And you don't want to be enticed. You know, in a courtroom, if a judge is not supposed to be bribed in any way. No one should be giving him gifts. No one should be buying him or her any gifts so they can be fair and impartial. And it's the same thing when you're considering a wife and you're considering a partner to be with. You don't want to be enticed by the pies and the meats and the baked potatoes and all the stuff that she's been bringing to you. You want to be able to make your decision and choose her, not because you were influenced by her good sex or her foods. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with people who are being kind, but you must be able to decipher the difference. And ask yourself, am I easily enticed? As a man of God, as a man of honor, is that all it takes? Some biscuit and sweat can bring you down. No, you're greater than that. Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. It's not by might nor by power, but by the Spirit of God. And so you want to be led by him in all things. Don't be like Esau. Don't lose what is precious over lust and an impulse. Follow God. All right, guys.